Good afternoon, everyone who are connected with us online in this live sessions. Today we have two wonderful personality, Dr. Priya Swaminathan. She is working as Dean of Faculty of IT and Computer Science and Director of MCA and Principal of BC Department, Parul University. So I heartily welcome to the Dr. Priya Swaminathan, madam. In the fall of 2012, I remember one of my faculty, one of my mentors, told me about the data scientist world, which are the new. And in 2012, the top three common search terms were used: the statistics, intelligence, artificial intelligence, and big data respectively. But as of now, July 2020, and nowadays, the top three common search terms change to machine learning, data science, and artificial intelligence. So based on this current trend, we are going to understand how we can have better future using data science. So I would like to introduce about the next personality who is expert, whose name is Mr. Shivam Kohli sir. He has done BTech in computer engineering from Charotar University of Science and Technology. He has also done post-graduation in data science and analytics from Martix Pune. He is currently working as data scientist and trainer at Fusion Practice Private Limited. He having total 1.8 years of experience in the field of data science. He has published many articles and research papers and book publication in reputed journals and book publication. So I would like to invite Mr. Shivam Kohli sir to take over the session. Please, sir.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for this opportunity, and thank you, ma'am, for introducing me. Right. So the main purpose of this session is like to make you aware about data science, what data science is, what machine learning is, and what actually AI and all this stuff are like, right? So irrespective of your field, I think you should know what data science and everything these things are, and why data science is currently booming in this market, and what are the job roles that are available for this field, right? So one thing I would like to tell you is that as long as you have data, you have these fields of data science, or you can say data analytics, data engineering. Okay, don't worry about these fields. I will explain you the difference between all these fields in the upcoming slides. Right, so let's begin. Data science, the field of future. Right. So welcome everyone once again. Let's dive into the future of data science and understand what data science actually is. Right. This is me, your trainer. So as Anjali ma'am has already introduced me. Okay, so other thing is like I have already trained more than 350 students in the field of data science, or you can say Python, machine learning, AI, or stuff. So right, I have three main chapters in well-known publications like Wiley and Springer. If you want to know more about me, then I have shared this QR code with you, or my LinkedIn profile. You can just visit my LinkedIn profile and get an overview about me, like what I do, what are my educations, or anything like that. Right. So let's first of all look at the agenda of this session. First is like we will discuss about what the current scenario of the job market is, like what the job market is basically expecting from you, right? From the newcomers or from the experienced ones, anyone. Next, why data science was born. We already had statisticians, we already had mathematicians, then we already had machine learning engineers. Then why this field, right? So we'll understand the role of data science or data scientist. Then we will take a look at the roadmap of data science. We will look at some misconception about data science, and next thing is we will look at the salary of a data scientist, like how much does a data scientist generally gets. Either he or she can be a fresher, or he or she can be an experienced one. Okay, we will take a look at the salary or pay scale of all the main types of all the main fields of data science. Next, we will take a look at the data science applications, like where is data science used and why it is such a booming a field in the sector, right? Next one is like, what are your weapons? What kind of tools, technologies, and languages you need to get into the field of data science, right? What you need to focus on and everything. At the last, we will see what this term machine learning is basically is, right? I mean, why it's creating such a boom in this industry. So we will take a look at this thing. So this session is all about this one, like making you aware about this new fields, the tools and technologies, what are the requirements of the current job market, and so. So let's start with current scenario. On this page, see, I have tried to keep this slide as simple as possible so that you are able to understand this, right? So on your screen, you can see a survey of 2019 that was done for a minute of a day, a single minute. So like in a single minute, how much data is transferred from one location to another, or is transferred or utilized in these platforms like Twitch or Google, Tinder, Vimeo, Uber, Instagram, YouTube, Netflix, and so, right? So if you consider YouTube, if you see here, okay, let me pull out my laser pointer. Okay, here you can see that in a single minute there are around these many videos that are being watched in a single minute. This was the scenario of 2019. 2020, that is the COVID period, has already gone, and now we are in 2021. If this was the scenario of 2019, then just imagine how much data was sent and received during the COVID period, because everyone was at home, right? You might be scrolling through the Facebook pages or Instagram pages, you are liking the things, you are sharing the posts, you are commenting on the posts, right? So you can just believe, I mean, you just think of. And now we once Jio launched its SIM card, and they started providing the 1.5 GB per day at the cheaper rates, 2 GB per day plans at cheaper rate, then just it's over. Like we transfer a lot of data, we share a lot of data, we receive a lot of data, we send a lot of data. The companies like YouTube, Google, Facebook, they get a lot of data, right? So here, this much 2.5 quintillion bytes of data it was generated in a day in 2019. You can count the zeros, right? You can count the amount of zeros. So this much amount of data was being generated in 2019 in a single day, and now it's 2021. So just imagine the amount of data that is being generated nowadays. Okay, fine. Exabytes of data or quintillions of data is generated in a day. Excellent. Good for us. But then, who the hell cares about if this much data is generated or not? Like, why do we care about this much data? Our task is only one thing: get the photo, share that photo, like the photo, comment on that photo, share it, everything like that, right? But what about that data? You might have thought, I mean, you might have worked on that age prediction by Facebook, right? I don't know if you have, but I think many of you might use that age prediction. Like upload your photo and Facebook will tell how you will look in your older age, right? Once you are aged. So that is the best example. So now this data is generated, then what? So the world needed someone who really cares about the data, who understands the data, who solves the mysteries that are hidden inside the data, and using that mysteries or that stories or that information, the world needed someone who can use that to improve and grow the business and predict the upcoming data, right? Or to perform the prediction on any data. So we care about you. Now who we are data scientists. So data scientists care about the data, right? So this is how the field of data science was really born. So now I hope you understood like what this data science field is roughly about. As long as you have data, then these fields are evergreen, right? Now we will take a look at like what data science actually is, in depth kind of thing, right? So it's a Venn diagram of three main fields, that is computer science or IT, then mathematics and statistics, and business knowledge or domain knowledge. And in the intersection of all these three fields, we have data science. right? So combination of all these three fields created data science that we see now, right? Earlier we had some we already had mathematicians, we had statisticians, we had few machine learning engineers, then we have business analyst people, we had marketing team, we had software developers, right? But as the need arose, the data science field was born, right? So we combined the extract of all these fields and we created a new field, that is data science. So this is all about data science. Okay, now we will see as long as data is associated with any field, we have fields like data engineer, first field. Second field is a data analyst, right? Third field is data scientist. Fourth field is machine learning engineer, and so on, right? So now what is the difference between all these fields? So firstly, data engineering is a combination of mathematics and statistics along with your knowledge of computer science and IT, right? So you can say the data engineers are mostly hard-coded programmers, kind of, right? Now, okay, this is a Venn diagram, but like, what does a data engineer do? What is the purpose of a data engineering in this field, right? In the field of data. So as you know, if you consider take a look at this picture, right? There is a funnel and there is a system, and in that funnel we are getting the data about security, we are getting the data about location, we are getting URLs, we are getting videos, we are getting time data, we are getting the shopping cart data, we are getting the telephone number or contact data, right? And many much more data, and that data is passed through the funnel into a system, right? So this is the work of data engineer. The work of data engineer is to collect the data from a lot of resources, segregate that data, prepare that data, get the data from the data warehouse, get that data, okay, and pass on the relevant or required data to the responsible team or the company. Right now, let's say you're working as a data scientist in Facebook, right? And if Facebook manager asks you to count the number of likes that a specific user is getting for all of his posts, okay, you need to calculate the number of likes. So now the requirement is forwarded to the data engineer. Now what data engineer will do, he or she, see, the data we will be in image format, it will be in, for likes it will be in Boolean or so. Then we will have a lot of data with different data types, right? So you can say the era or the zamana of the tabular data is gone now. Not gone, it is still there, but the unstructured data has taken over this kind of data, right? Because if you consider single post in Facebook, you have photo that is of image data type, you have the title of that photo of that post that is of text or string data type, you have the number of likes that is of numerical data type, then you have that button, like if you click, then that will be blue thumb, if you click on it again, it will be a gray thumb, okay, or that heart or whatever, that will be a Boolean data. So all this data is being collected, and what data engineers do, they fetch out the meaningful or the required data from this mess, or you can see the warehouse, and pass it to the team, right? So this is the work of data engineer. Now what does a data analyst do? Data analyst is basically that this field is a combination of mathematics, statistics, and the business knowledge and communication skills, right? So here the communication skills plays a vital role in the data analyst field, right? Because I will show you, right? In this slide, you can see we have a laptop, and we are getting some charts or reports, right? This is a line chart, this is some you can say any specific value or vagara chart, and at the last you have, I think, pie chart or donut. Yeah, it's pie chart, right? So you need to analyze that data, and you need to communicate what that data is telling you, right, with the another team. So basically data analyst develops this kind of dashboard. Okay, the data is I mean, the textual data or the tabular data or the unstructured data, it looks boring. It looks really boring. I mean, you cannot fetch out any meaningful information, or you cannot fetch out any specific information from that, right? So for that, the data analyst field comes into existence, right? What they do, they collect the data from the data engineering team, and they try to analyze the data in terms of multiple charts or visualizations. Okay, so now these charts and visualizations or this Visio, I mean, it looks good, right? For explaining purpose, or for understand, or for making understand the party that is in front of you, right? This is the work data, right? Now, data analysts and data scientists, they work the team. If one of them is missing, then the flow is broken. Right. On this left side, you can see there is some preparation engine, right? So what we are doing here, you can see in the photos, we have YouTube, Instagram, then SMS. All these things are getting into the funnel, and the data engineering team is getting the data that is asked or that is required by the team to process. Okay, so let's say I want to analyze all the photos from the Instagram. So data engineering team will pull out those photos and will pass those likes or photos to this middleware, to this next team, and this team is called analytics team and data scientist team. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so analytics team, it will perform the statistical analysis and graphical based analysis, right? And the data scientist team, it will perform the feature. Okay, it will perform feature engineering, and it will create some models. Now, what models are? Models are nothing but the prediction, right? Obviously, data scientists will need to have the knowledge of data engineering as well as data analytics, okay, to understand the work, right? So now, what is the difference between the data analyst and a data scientist? Okay, main difference. Okay, main difference is that data analysts work on the past data, or the data that is already available to us, right? So if we take an example of McDonald's, okay, and what McDonald's and you are hired as a data scientist in McDonald's, okay. Now McDonald's IT team, now McDonald's wants McDonald's give you a data, give you their data, like the number of sales, then the number of products they have, number of items or the food products sold each day, and so, right? So now what data analyst will do, he will take that data, okay, he will analyze the data using the visualization, and he or she will find that, oh, on Sunday our Maharaja Mac King Burger is getting the highest number of sales, and more units of Maharaja Mac King Burger are being sold on Sundays, right? So that means we are getting a high profit on Sundays. So that thing will be analyzed using the past data, right? And that will be communicated to the team, right? And a lot more analysis. And now what a data scientist will do, he or she will understand the report that was submitted by data analytics team, and he or she will create a machine or a model that will predict like how much number of burgers will be sold on Sundays and Thursdays, right? If a new product, let's say MacPuff, if MacPuff was launched recently, then how can we use our data to make MacPuff famous, right? So we know from analytics team that on Sundays, Maharaja Mac King Burger, like Maharaja Mac King Burger is the priority of everyone, for example. So let's give a MacPuff free with that King Burger for a few days and see what is the reviews or response for that MacPuff, right? And so now how much items to keep? So see, the main thing of the hotels or restaurants is like the products or the items should not be wasted, right? So what a data scientist can do, he or she can create a machine that can predict the number of items that can be sold each day. So that will save the money, that will save the cost, right? That will save the cost to the business, right? If you consider that on Thursday, 20 let's say you prepared 50 burgers and only 20 were sold, So 30 were wasted, right? 30 were completely wasted. And each burger, let's say, cost around 300 rupees. So 300 into 30, that was the loss per day for a specific shop in a particular city. So then just think how much, how much loss will be there if you consider about the whole world, right? About the whole McDonald's franchising. And now I hope you understand why the companies pay a lot to data scientists, analysts, and engineers, right? This is the reason, because they are saving the money for that business or company, right? So this was all about the three main fields, right? Now we will take a look at the framework for developing the machine learning models, like the complete flow from starting till the deployment. I hope now you understood what data scientists and all these people do, right? First step is like understanding the business problem or identification of an opportunity. We will take an example here also. So let's say TCS, or you can say Tata Consultancy Services, TCS hires you, okay, as a data scientist, and TCS wants to know, let's say they have a scenario, consider a scenario, and the manager tells you, hey data scientist, or let's say Shivam, okay, I am the data scientist. They will say, hey Shivam, I want to understand why few of my people are leaving my organization. Like, what is the reason behind their churn or leaving the organization, right? So is it because of they don't like their seats, they don't like the food of canteen, they don't like the work environment, or they don't like the salary, whatever, right? Next, so I will say, hey manager, can you please provide me the data that you have collected? So the manager will provide us the data, and the second step will be the feature extraction and collection of the relevant data or the relevant information, right? Now what I mean by relevant information, in that data, let's say I have 100 columns, okay? One is of employee ID, second is of the date of joining, third one is the let's say the working experience, fourth one is the salary, their salary, fifth one is the average rating of their canteen of the canteen of that company. Fifth one is, let's say, ratings of the work environment, right? Fifth one is the flavor of the ice cream that employees love, right? So let's say if employee 001 eats chocolate ice cream from the canteen, then that field will contain chocolate. If someone eats vanilla, favorite of flavor is vanilla, that field will have vanilla. Now tell me, is this flavor of ice cream field really useful for for analyzing why people are leaving the company? No, right? It will not be useful. It's not like that. If the employee likes chocolate, then he or she will leave the organization. If he or she likes vanilla, then he or she will leave organization. This is not the scenario, right? So that is why we will remove these irrelevant features, and by the end of this second step we will have the relevant data, right? The third will be data cleaning or data pre-processing. See, believe me, the raw data that we get from any company or any source is really messy. It's really the worst thing to look at. So to perform any analysis or to perform any prediction, we need to clean the data or pre-process that data, right? So this is the step. So now what I mean by cleaning or pre-processing, let's say you have a column called birth date of that employee. Few employees are entering their date separated by slash, few are entering their birth date separated by hyphens, right? And few are just simply typing their birth date in simple English, like 12th December or 5 December, anything like that, right? So now, and few of the columns have some missing values, few have not given the ratings for the canteen or so. So we need to clean that data or pre-process that data. We need to bring that in a single flow, right? Single understandable flow. Now the next thing is feature selection and model building. Now the thing comes for model building, right? Now this is a step where you can build models, right? And also perform the analysis on your data. So data analytics and data modeling is performed here, right? till step number 2 or 3, you can say data engineering team work for that. But in a small or a medium scale industries, or even some big industries, all this work is done, can be done by data scientists also. Okay, so basically data scientist should have the knowledge of everything, should have the extract of each and every field, so that he can, he can progress in his field, right? So once the prediction is built, next step is like, I will say, hey manager, TCS manager, I am providing you the prediction, that portal where you can pass the employee details, and you will know, you can predict like when the employee will going to leave the organization, how much years or months or days he will stay in that organization. So that is the prediction model. Right? And we will also submit the data analysis report. Right? So now in the data analysis report, we will say, see manager, you are making the employee work for too long. I think from our report it is found that can be also reason. And the next reason is like, in the canteen the food is not that good, right? So the employee has to commute to some other place to have lunch, or he has to bring his or her own tiffin. So that can be a reason, right? So now this problem is now solved. Now the manager knows what was the problem, and he can improve his business model, right? All thanks to the data team. So this is the whole pipeline, right? Now we will learn, or we will just see the data science roadmap. Like, what are the things that are required you to get into the field of data science or analytics or engineering, right? So first is like general statistics and probability. See, I am not telling you to drill down deep into these fields, but you should have general knowledge on statistics and probability, because it will really help, right? Second will be, you should have a strong grip on Python, right? See, you might have learned either Java or C++, C, or even not, you have not learned any language, right? But you need to have strong grip on Python. If you're good with Java, if you know the concepts of Java, C++, or any language, then it is very easy to learn any other language, as your concepts are clear. Okay. See, I believe languages are just like clothes. Okay. Anyone can wear any clothing, right? You just need to know the concept of that thing, right? Next thing is like, you should have a bit knowledge on web scraping, regular expression, and all these things. This field, you can see the circle is little bit big. Why? Because this field is most important for data engineering role. This portion is most important for data engineering role. Okay, Python is essential for both of them, right? Next is gain mastery on specific scientific libraries in Python to perform any machine learning, to perform anything on data, or to analyze anything. You need to have some tools with you, right? If you think of a carpenter, then he has that what we call that X or something like that to cut, or that wedge or something like that, right? If you think of an electrician, he has some screwdriver or something like that. He has a bulb, or his tools like a potentiometer or ammeter, anything. So similarly for data science also, you need this kind of tools, right? If we move towards next is data visualization. Now, data visualization is a must required tool or skill for a data analyst, right? If you are someone who says that I don't have that much interest in programming, but I do love statistics, maths, and I have a good communication skill, right? Or let's say if you have some knowledge on programming, then this is definitely, for you. Data analyst is definitely for you, right? So a lot of, a deep down programming knowledge is not that much required for a data analyst, right? But for data science, you should know all these things. So this is basically a data science roadmap. I'm just trying to segregate these positions for each and every field, right? Next thing is machine learning. For a data engineer, machine learning is not that required. for a data analyst, machine learning is also not that required, but for data scientists, machine learning is the most important tool or the key tool. Okay, so machine learning is basically classified into two main things. We'll see it afterwards, right? And the last thing, once you created the report, once you created a prediction model, you need to deploy that to somewhere, right? Like for example, you are in let's say Hyderabad, and the TCS company that hired you, it's in, let's say, Kashmir. Okay, example, just giving Kashmir, just giving an example. So that manager will not always travel to you for his prediction and for getting reports, right? He should have some specific place where he can predict his things, or he can analyze, or he can see or view the reports, right? So we need to deploy, or we need to upload everything to the cloud servers, so that the party that is in front of us, that has hired us, can use that data with ease, okay, or easily, right? So this was the roadmap. So now let's move towards the salary of a data scientist. Guys, feel free to pause me if my voice is breaking or anything like that, okay? Now you can also note down your questions if you have any, right? Now we will take a look at the salary of a data scientist, right? So basically, this is the report of 2020. In 2020, the minimum salary that a data scientist used to get, or right, fresher, okay, minimum salary for a fresher, it was minimum of 5,11,000 minimum, okay? And as your experience increases, your salary also increases. You can see the graph, right? And the mean or the average salary of a data scientist per annum, it is 8,13,000. I think it is good salary in India. I'm talking about India. I'm not talking about the foreign countries. Okay, in foreign countries you will get more salary than this, right? But in India also this is a lot more salary, right? And for a fresher, 5 lakh is, I think it's good. So these are some companies that pay this much salary to the employees, right? This is the average salary per annum. So you can see Capgemini provides around 900k salary per annum. Then IBM 975k per annum. HCL provides 1 million per annum to a data scientist, right? Next is the salary of a data engineer. Okay, see, the salary of a data engineer is also equivalent to the salary of a data scientist, right? So each and every field is important for its, it's beneficial for its own purpose, right? So minimum is, you can say, it's an estimate, okay? You can get more than that. So minimum salary for the fresher, you can say less than 1 year experience fresher, it's 4,32,000, and the maximum can go up till 2 million or so, right? Next salary is of data analyst. Now the minimum salary that a data analyst gets is 3,27,000. This was the report of early 2020. Now this report has changed to 4,28,000. Okay, and this is the same for the previous roles also. The salary has increased, right? So these are the salaries that a fresher and an experienced one gets. Now competition. So see, you are not the only ones who have entered in this field of data science. Okay, you obviously have a competition, because see, this is a simple thing. This field is booming a lot because the data, we are not going to stop getting the data, right? The flow of the data will be continuous and lifetime. That's why. Now we will take a look at some applications of data science, right? So you can say, what are the applications of data science? So data science can be used not only in the 6 fields, but the application, or you can see the scope of data science is really vast. So if we consider about this e-commerce thing, okay, so let's just take a look at every field. First one is e-commerce. Second one is in healthcare. Third one is in gaming. Then we have energy. Then we have travel and finance. So I have this video, okay. let's quickly take this is I think 2 minutes video. I think that will be sufficient. So if you want, you can just scan this QR code and you can see this video on your phone also. Okay, I'll just play it here. It will hardly take 2 minutes. 1 minute. Right, so the machine is able to extract that data automatically. You can see recipe recommendations as well. Right, so this was the whole video. So I want an acknowledgement. Was everyone able to hear me? Was my audio proper? Also my video and presentation, is it proper?
Yes,
like you're able to see it, right?
completely audible.
Okay, let's continue then. Okay, this was a smart shopping cart. You saw, right? Like whenever she pulled any product and she just put that in the cart, that cart will automatically scan. It will automatically understand what that product is. It will add that product in the cart. Okay, in the digital cart, it will add that payment also, right? And the recommendation system will also give you a recommendation. Like for example, if you are buying milk, then the recommendation engine will say, with milk I think you need bread also, right, to dip that bread in your milk and have a nice breakfast. So it will pop up a notification that 50% off on this Britannia bread, right? Machine learning recommendation system. So you will buy that, right? So it's a simple method, right? It's highly advanced thing. Okay? This is the AI of today. Just believe what will be the AI of tomorrow will be, right? This is one example. Next one is the recommendation systems. Okay, first one that we saw in the shopping cart, right? Now if you see either Netflix or if you take a look at Amazon or Reebok, then if you buy any product, then you are given a recommendation, right? So if you are watching any action movie, let's say if you are watching any movie, either comedy or action, then you will get the recommendation based on your preferences or your taste, right? So whatever movies you watch, that machine learning algorithm, it will the data the data science team, it will create an algorithm, machine learning algorithm, that will understand your taste, that will get the data from your preferences, and it will create a recommendation engine. It will automatically provide you the recommendations based on your taste, right? Okay, I will give you an example of Reebok. So I don't know whether they have started or not, but Reebok was trying to build a product like okay, so it will keep the data of their customers with them, and it will train the model on that data. Now once the customer, okay, let's say we have a scenario, there is a husband wife scenario. Wife is at home, husband enters the shop, Reebok shop. He sees a nice looking shoe, right? And as soon as he enters the that shop, they have a beacon set up, and that beacon will identify that this is this user and these are his preferences. Last time this user bought a leather shoe, so I think we should recommend some leather shoes to him, right? So as soon as he enters, he will see an offer on the dashboard, on the screen, on the hoarding, like a 15% off on this leather shoe, right? So that husband goes and buys and put that shoe in his cart. As soon as he puts his shoe in his cart, then machine learning algorithm will identify that he has a wife, and suddenly he will give him a notification, buy this sandal and get extra 10% off, right? So the husband will say like no, okay, I don't want. But that machine is smart enough to send that notification to the wife also. So now that wife will see that notification, she will call him like, please buy me a sandal, please, or you will not get food or something like that. Okay, So the person buys the shoes as well as sandal. Let's say the cost is 10,000. As soon as he puts that shoes or and sandals in his cart, he gets a new notification. Let's say his person is XYZ. Hi XYZ. We notice that you have 2 kids. Buy 1 pair of sandals, get other free. Okay, so this is kind of recommendation system or marketing strategy, right? That was being developed using machine learning, data science, and AI, right? And the second application, I mean, I like this application a lot. This is gene analysis. I think there is a company in New Jersey. I forgot the name, but what they do, they collect some sample, or you need to courier your DNA samples to that company, either by spit or either your hair or anything like that. That company will extract your DNA from your offering, and they will run a model on that, and they will be, I mean, our technology has become so advanced that they will be able to predict when you are going to have a heart disease. Will you be able to, I mean, will you suffer from kidney disorder in next 2 to 3 years or not? In fact, how your child will look like, all these stuffs they can analyze. If this is the AI of today, then I'm again repeating, you can just understand, I mean, just imagine the AI of tomorrow, right? All this is possible because of data science. Next one is automated IoT applications that save energy. Okay, or you can say / smart cities. Next is self-driving cars, either by Tesla or you can say Google, right? Now, I don't know if you have heard about this SUV or not, MG Hector. This is a SUV, I think from Germany also. I don't remember the company, but they have implemented a smart system in their cars, AI system in their car. So let's say they have also implemented a speech recognition engine in their car. So if you say, "Hi MG," so that car will reply to you, "Hello sir, how can I help you?" or something like that. Then it will understand your the driver's preferences and all these things, right? All this is possible because of data, right? So, and in upcoming future, the main field, I mean, the top grossing field in which data science or AI ML will be a lot helpful will be the healthcare field, right? So this is just this is an example. What this AI is doing? It is scanning the lungs of a person, and it's trying to predict whether this person is suffering from any disease or whether his or her lungs are normal, right? Then some hospitals, some really big hospitals have collaborated with Intel and IBM, and they are creating some systems or machine learning models. They have hired the data scientists, and they are creating some systems that will be able to predict, I mean, what is going to happen to that particular patient, whether he will, I mean, what are his survival rates, what is the percentage of his survival, will, I mean, what is the will he have heart attack in the next few months or years, or something, anything like that, right? See, there are some false positives also, false prediction also in AI of today. But if we are capable of doing this thing in today's era, then obviously we will try to overcome the false prediction or false positives in upcoming future, right? And we have a young pool of data scientists now, right? So now, what are your weapons? So I will just be quick. So the main weapon that you have is Python, right? You must know Python, as I said. You need to have some knowledge on SQL, and for implementing machine learning or so, you need to have some tool in Python, or you use libraries, right? Like you can say scikit-learn or PyTorch, TensorFlow, anything like that, right? And once you develop the model, you should have knowledge about deployment. Okay, so these are the most popular data science tools. Now this is a very interesting chart. So dark blue means very important, light blue means not that important, and this, I don't know what this color is called, but this color means somewhat important, right? So on the left side you can see the areas, on the top you can see the fields, and in this you can see how much important each field, I mean each stream is for each field, right? So from programming till machine learning, all these are important in data science field. Okay, software engineering and multivariate calculus and linear algebra is somewhat important in this field, right? If you talk about data analyst, then programming tools, then data visualization tools, and communication. These are highly important for a data analyst. Okay, data intuition and statistics is fine. It's somewhat important. And data wrangling and other these things are not that important. The same goes for the other fields also. Right now, to be a data scientist, you must know Python, SQL, data wrangling, scraping, data visualization. Data wrangling or scraping is basically gathering the data. Okay, you should have the very good communication or presentation skills. R is also a language like Python, Java. So R is optional. Next thing is you need to learn some project deployment tool. Right, and to be a data analyst, you should know somewhat Python. You should have a good knowledge in SQL. Okay, then you must have a good knowledge in data visualization tools, right? So a little bit of Python, more of SQL, and mandatory field is data visualization and communication and presentation skills for a data analyst. And for a data engineer, you must be skilled in Python. I mean, you should have a best knowledge in Python. Then also SQL, same goes for SQL. You need these first three fields mainly. Okay, now why Python? Okay, why not any other language? So Python is basically, it's an interpreted and high level language. So if you want to print just a hello world, then it's a single line of code. Okay? It's a general purpose language. Learn one language and you can develop web applications, mobile applications. You can develop machine learning models. You can develop deep learning models. You can perform data visualization. You can create a software. You can create a GUI application, anything with a single language. Next is strong community. Python was developed a long time ago. So okay, so till now we have a strong community built up in Python. So if you are stuck anywhere, just type your query in Google and you will find the results. Right? Next is in Python we have many core libraries for data analytics and visualization. As I said earlier, that you need some libraries, right, for machine learning or visualization analytics. So Python has these libraries. Next is it is easier to integrate with any system. If you want to get the data from any SQL or any database or anything like that, it is very simple to integrate with that. Okay, and the last is easier to learn and has good readability. Right, this is why Python. Okay, this is basically the same thing. Now we will quickly go through. It's 12:49 and I think we should move fast a little bit. Now we'll quickly go through the introduction to machine learning. So now you can say machine learning, artificial intelligence, and deep learning belong to the same family, right? Artificial intelligence is basically a technique that enables a machine to exhibit human-like behavior or intelligence, right? Machine learning is using the statistical knowledge or the statistical methods to enable the machines to improve with experience. Right, this is basically a technological or scientific definition, but whatever I said you earlier, that is what it is in layman terms. And deep learning is basically it imitates the functioning of a human brain to solve problems. Right, now I think we should not go in that much depth in machine learning, but I will tell you like what what are the different types of machine learning algorithms. Okay, so first one is supervised learning, right? Second one is unsupervised learning, and third one is reinforcement learning. This might not make sense to you, but in simple words, supervised learning is basically you are getting a personal, you are getting a coaching from a supervisor, right? Unsupervised, he tells you like this is apple, this is banana, this is, let's say, chocolate or anything. He tells you that and you learn that, right? You know what apple looks like, what banana looks like. In unsupervised learning, we don't have any teacher. Okay, so unsupervised learning is like ordering some 5 to 6 books from Amazon and start self-learning. That is what unsupervised learning means. So the model gets the data and automatically segregates the data, automatically learns some pattern about the data. Okay, and reinforcement learning is like the future. You know about Sony, right? Sony company. So Sony company has created a robot dog, a robo dog. Its name is Aibo. After the session, you can search for it. Its name is Sony Aibo, AIBO. So they have implemented reinforcement learning in Aibo. What it does, it learns from its mistake. For example, uh, if the master of the dog says don't go there, if he scolds him, then that dog will learn and it will not repeat that mistake again, right? It will learn on its own, like our own brain. If the cup is hot, if you touch that, right, for the first time when you are a baby, if you touch that cup, then you felt pain on your fingertip, right? And after that you don't dare to touch that cup, right? You learned that this thing is hot, this thing is cold. So reinforcement learning is basically the same approach. You can say it is the approach towards artificial intelligence, right? Okay, so we will not go into that much technical stuff now. This is the machine learning tree. So these all are the algorithms that are, these are not all the algorithms. I have taken only the extract. There are a lot of algorithms in machine learning, okay, that can be used for different applications. Like as I said, if Reebok wants to create the recommendation store, then they will use unsupervised learning or association method, right? If you want to predict whether the employee will leave the organization or not, then we will use classification algorithms. So like that. Okay. So now before moving towards the doubt clarification sessions, oh sorry, I think, yeah. Okay. So before moving to the doubt clarification sessions, I suggest you to go through these QR codes and you can join my community. I have created a very large community of data science, and in that community, you can basically ask questions to each other, learn from each other, okay, improve your knowledge, ask your questions anytime, right? So this is the community. You will get notified about the upcoming webinars, free webinars or paid webinars or boot camps or anything. Okay, so this is the QR code. If you want to scan, you can scan this QR code, or you can see here, I have provided the link. Okay, you can go to this link and connect with the data science community. Also, I have a WhatsApp group where users, always try to ask questions and we solve their queries, and we also ask questions if we need. So it's kind of a learning platform for you, right? So if you are a beginner or pro, that doesn't matter. Join this community if you want, and you can ask any of your doubts regarding your career or anything, technical, non-technical, right? And again, before going to the session, you can scan this QR code. I have an upcoming webinar on 15th March, this 15th March. Okay, so it will be, I think, 1 month or so webinar. So if you want, you can join this webinar. So this is the URL. You can go to piname.com/fml, or if you want, you can just scan this QR code and you can join. I will be really happy to welcome you to my webinars. Okay, so it will be on, you will learn Python, deep down Python, you will learn deep down machine learning, you will learn deep down the data science pipeline, everything from scratch to pro. Okay, if you wish that this is a field for you, then I welcome you to this field. Okay, now I have a few questions. I will try to ask, what I can say, like, clear your few doubts, right? So these are the questions from my previous webinars. So I just tried to collect this question and clarify them. First question is like, can you be a data scientist? Is it that hard? No, it is not that hard, and you can be a data scientist no matter your age. Okay, no matter your experience. In fact, in my previous organization, we had people from BCom, MCom, MCA, BCA, engineering background, management background. It was a variety, right? So as I said, data science is basically a combination of all these talents, all this knowledge, right? And everything, and everyone works as a team. So you can be a data scientist. Next is like, am I late to get into data science? No, you are not. As long as you have curiosity, as long as you have dedication to learn, you are not late to get into the field of data science. Okay, you can begin your career at any time. Should I look only for data science during the college placements? See, if you are getting a good placement opportunity in data science, ML, AI, deep learning, or data analytics, anything, frankly, go for that opportunity. But if you don't get an opportunity directly in the field of data science, and if you, let's say, if you get a role as software developer, then I suggest go for it. Okay, take some experience. I'm giving you a free advice, frank advice. Take some experience, and and start learning data science parallelly. Don't stop your learning process, start learning it parallelly. Once you have experience, then you can directly step into the field of data science, right? Because experience and knowledge both are needed for data science. And if you are a fresher, so this question was mainly for fresher. If you are a fresher, okay, don't lose any opportunity. Next, till now, I see a lot of people that they wait for the opportunity and they wait, but the time just moves away and they don't get opportunity, and their colleagues are entered into some job or so that. Why? Because those people were waiting for the proper opportunity. No, if you are getting a good opportunity, go for it and start learning data science in parallel. Okay, and you can also start building your profile regarding data science, right? Next question is, till now I have invested my time in learning other technology. Let's say, for example, I have invested 2 years in learning Java. Then can I move into data science? Will Java be any useful? Yes. Each and every IT technology or management technology, management skill, anything that you learn, it will be definitely useful in data science. Okay, your knowledge will not be a waste. Next is, I am not from a computer IT domain. Can I still get into this field? Answer is the same. Anyone can get into this field. As I said earlier, my previous team had a variety of data scientists. Okay, senior, junior, freshers, from any field. Okay, in fact, you'll be surprised to know one was from civil engineering background. Okay, see, he did not get a feast, or let's say direct food product in his hand. He obviously he had worked a lot hard to get into that field. Okay, but I'm telling you that it is not for a specific domain only. Anyone from any domain can enter in the field of data science. Now, I don't want to learn programming. Can I still get into this field? Yes and no. Okay, for a data scientist and a data engineering, you should have a programming knowledge in Python. Okay, but if you want to be a data analyst, then a little bit then you need a little bit programming knowledge. It is fine. Along with that, you need some you need to work on Tableau. You need knowledge on Tableau, Power BI, or any visualization techniques or anything like that. Now, this is the question that I get from most of my students, is that, is master's degree mandatory? Not at all. Okay, if you are getting masters in any field, then obviously it is a good point for you, right? It is a you can say additional point for you, obviously, right? But if you don't have a master's degree, or if you don't want to pursue masters, it is completely fine. Even I have done my BTech in computer engineering, right? What matters is your knowledge, your curiosity, your dedication towards this field, right? So this is all from my side. I am again showing you this QR code. If you feel that this you want to learn, then you can join my upcoming webinar. Okay, so this is a QR code and this is the link. If you want, you can just go register for that, and I will meet you in the upcoming webinars. So I hope this session was useful for you. It's 1 p.m. already. If you have any questions, then you can ask.
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm having one doubt. Shall I ask one question, sir?
Yes, sure. Ask any doubts, frankly.
Thank you, sir. Actually, sir, in data cleaning, so what are the importance of dropping the NaN values?
Sorry, of the?
What are the importance of dropping NaN values in data?
Okay. Yeah, okay. See, I will answer this question according to my experience in this field. It is not always necessary to drop the null values. Okay, so if you have So it can be something like, if you have a row, if you have 150 columns, okay, and in 2 to 3 rows for a particular record you have null values, okay, you can remove that, you can remove that observation. But what if the other data has some meaningful information in that? 3 records have null values, but what if the other records have some meaningful information, right? So you can do one thing. I will tell you the methods of this dealing with the null values. First is you can drop the null values if you don't think that the record is necessary, or if your data is too large, you can drop some null values, right? Second method is you can impute the null values. Impute means replace the null values with the relevant data, right? For example, if you have a age column, then and you have 2 to 3 null values, then instead of removing that null values, what you can do, you can find the you can say average age, or the age, or the you can find the people that you have in that particular age, and you can replace that age, right? So it will be more beneficial, right? Third thing is you can extract the null values records as a separate table, and you perform analysis on that separate null values wala table. Okay. So that is all about null values. There are a lot of things. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And one more, sir, that if someone want to become the data scientist, right? So, what to do? I means how means how we can become a data scientist. I means what to do, and
Yeah.
after BCA and MCA, how the students can become the data scientists.
Yes. Okay. So as I said, this field is for everyone, right? So for getting into this field, you should start with getting a grip into programming language, right? And I would suggest go with Python, right? Because Python is the, I can say, the future of the programming languages. Start with Python, get a good grip on Python, try some examples, try to create some mini projects or so using Python. That will be the first step. Second step will be try learning some basics about statistics and machine learning, right? Probability, and you can practice that theoretical knowledge along with the your Python knowledge. Okay, you can do it theoretically as well as practically side by side, right? Third thing will be create some projects. Get any data, either it can be of McDonald's data, it can be of any employee data, anything, and try to try to understand the data. And for a data analyst, try to analyze the data, try to extract some story from the data, right? And at last try to predict that data. So kind of create projects and create a LinkedIn profile. First of all, create a LinkedIn profile and create a GitHub profile. Whatever projects you do, try uploading up your projects on that thing.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. Before ending the session, I request to audience to note down one link for feedback and this certificate. So please, Sivam sir, please can you please stop your screen?
Yes. Yeah. I'm stopping my screen presentation. Yep, done.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So once again, I request to the audience to note down this link for the feedback and certificate.
As I hope you understood what this field is, right? My main aim was to get you familiar with this field.
Yes, of course, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope the audience has noted down. So, on behalf of BC and MCA Department, Parul University, would like to thank for making this webinar interesting and meaningful. Making this presentation is very excellent. So, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. I heartily thanks to the Director of MC Department, the Principal of BC Department, and Dean of Faculty of IT and Computer Science, Dr. Priya Swaminarayan, Madam. Also, I would like to thanks to the head of the Department of MCA, Professor Vivek Dave, sir, and also the head of the department of BCA, Professor Hina Choksi madam, entire BCA staff, and my dear audience who just connected with us during whole session. So once again, thank you so much to all of you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you from my side also for giving me this opportunity. Thank you again. It was really a nice session.
Same to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.